Let's say that you have an infinite series S, which is equal to the sum from n equals 1. Let me write that a little bit neater. N equals 1 to infinity of a sub n. And this is all a little bit of review. We would say, well, this is the same thing as a sub 1 plus a sub 2 plus a sub 3. And we would just keep going on and on and on forever. Now, what I want to introduce to you is the idea of a partial sum. This right over here is an infinite series. But we could define a partial sum. So if we say S sub 6, this notation says, okay, if S is an infinite series, S sub 6 is the partial sum of the first 6 terms. So in this case, this is going to be, we're not going to just keep going on forever. This is going to be a sub 1 plus a sub 2 plus a sub 3 plus a sub 4 plus a sub 5 plus a sub 6. And I could make this a little bit more tangible if you like. So let's say that S, the infinite series S, is equal to the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of 1 over n squared. In this case, it would be, let's see, 1 over 1 squared plus 1 over 2 squared plus 1 over 3 squared. And we would just keep going on and on and on forever. But what would S sub, actually, let me do that same color. What would S, I said I would change color and I didn't. What would S sub 3 be equal to? The partial sum of the first 3 terms. And I encourage you to pause the video and try to work through it on your own. Well, it's just going to be, the first term, 1, plus the second term, 1/4, plus the third term, 1/9. It's going to be the sum of the first 3 terms. And we could figure that out. That's to see if you have a common denominator here. It's going to be 36. It's going to be 36 36ths plus 9 36ths plus 4 36ths. So this is going to be 49 over 36. 49 over 36. So the whole point of this video is just to appreciate this idea of a partial sum. And what we'll see is that you can actually express what a partial sum might be algebraically. So for example, let's give ourselves a little bit more real estate here. Let's go back to just saying we have an infinite series S that is equal to the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of a sub n. And let's say we know the partial sum S sub n, so the sum of the first n terms of this is equal to n squared minus 3 over n to the third plus 4. So just as a bit of a reminder of what this is saying, S sub n is the same thing as a sub 1 plus a sub 2 plus you keep going all the way to a sub n. And that's going to be equal to this business, n squared minus 3 over n to the third plus 4. Now, given that, if someone were to walk up to you on the street and says, okay, now that you know the notation for a partial sum, I have a little question to ask of you. If S is the infinite series, and I'm writing it in very general terms right over here, so S is the infinite series from n equals 1 to infinity of a sub n, and the partial sum S sub n is defined this way. So they tell you these two things. And then they say, find what the sum from n equals 1 to 6 of a sub n is. And I encourage you to pause the video and try to figure it out. Well, this is going to be a sub 1 plus a sub 2 plus a sub 3 plus a sub 4, and when I say sub, that just means subscript, plus a sub 5 plus a sub 6. Well, that's just the same thing as the partial sum. This is just the same thing as the partial sum of the first 6 terms for our infinite series. It's just going to be the partial sum S sub 6. And we know how to algebraically evaluate what S sub 6 is. We can apply this formula that we were given. S sub 6 is equal to, well, everywhere we see an n, we replace with a 6. It's going to be 6 squared minus 3 over 6 to the third plus 4. And so what is this going to be? 6 squared is 36 minus 3, so that's 33. And 6 to the third, let's see, 36 times 6, I always forget. My brain wants to say 216, but let me make sure that that's actually the case. 6 times 30 is 180 plus 36. Yes, it is 216. So I guess I have inadvertently, by seeing 6 to the third so many times in my life, I have inadvertently memorized 6 to the third power. It's never a horrible thing to have that in your brain. So this is going to be 216 plus 4. So 220. So S sub 6, or the sum of the first 6 terms of this series right over here, is 33 220ths. And we're done. And hopefully, and the whole point of this is just so that you kind of appreciate, or really do appreciate, this partial sum notation and understand what it really means.